Okay, so I don't get it. Why would the Survival Outpost go to such great lengths to make this video about a bug out bag and then leave one of the biggest parts of the 5 C's of survival out of it? I think they're trolling us.
Yeah. So they might go right
Okay, so if you didn't get it, basically the Survival Outpost had done a video on the Canadian preppers' new gray man bug out bag where they left something out, one of the 5 C's of survival, out of a pre-made survival bag that goes for like $600. Please don't do it. Anyway, I thought it'd be a good parody. I was checking out the guy's channel and our views align almost perfectly. So this isn't a hit piece. I'm just having a little bit of fun with it. But I did have some problems with his bug out bag and some of the things that he said. And now we're actually going to go and take a look at that video and you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. Okay, so as you can see, we're on it. It's originally titled My 2023 Ultimate Bug Out Bag Packing List Long Range Survival Kit. Guys, I'll have things to say, but I'm going to let you form your own opinions first. Like I said, the guy's values pretty much aligned with mine. So let me make this bigger, and that's what she said. And we're gonna do a little bit of off-screen preparation.
Gear is good, therefore
there we go.
Gear equals survival. Survival is good, gear is good, not dying is good, therefore you need gear not to die. Okay, damn it. All I'm trying to say here is you need gear for survival. If you don't have gear, you're not going to be doing much surviving. Now, unless, of course, you're that 1% or 0.00001% of people out there with the primitive skills to walk out into Mother Nature and live in harmony with just a bush pot, a knife, and a canteen for the rest of their entire existence. That's not me, and I'm guessing that's probably not you. So not only is gear essential for survival, one could say that gear is the essence of life itself. So let's have a look at that gear, because that's why we're here.
Okay, I like his intro. We can do something with this.
Call it an inch bag or call it a long-range survival kit. Either way, this bag is designed to allow me to survive without resupply for a maximum of 30 days. And yes, that would...
Did you guys hear the brakes fire up on that? 14 to 30 days, huh? This is going to be interesting. Let me see here. Let me get my list fired up. I got a list over here. There it is. All right. I've already watched this video about 6 times. Yeah, you're welcome. Whatever your name is, video guy. But let's go through this real quick.
And yes, I will lose weight. And no, I'm not carrying 3,000 calories of food to eat every single day. In previous videos, we had great discussions on inch bag strategies and packing tips. So be sure to check out the playlist down there in the description and the pinned post. Here's a real quick warning. If you are triggered and you feel offended or attacked when you see toxic levels of badass gear, camouflage, talk about self-reliance and survival and things of that nature, then you're going to want to click out and run to your safe space right now. Do whatever you do. Hang out with your Funko Pop characters. Hug your mommy. Play some video games. And I promise everything will be okay in the end. And if it's not okay, it's not the end. Now, back to it.
I really like this guy's attitude. He says all the right things.
So the first issue that arises when packing a long-range kit is weight. If you pack carelessly, your low back and your shoulders will definitely let you know. They'll be quite angry. So in order to cut weight, I found that segregating my gear into modules helps me stay better organized and, in general, helps me pack lighter. So I always like to use the 5 C's of survival to build the foundation and then layer accordingly. Okay,
so
let's
far so
get
good.
rolling with the star of this loadout, the EXO Mountain Gear K2 3500.
Oh, hell no. Oh, no. Okay, so, woo, I guess Get ready for the sales pitch, guys. This is, at the time of this video, actually, they don't even make these anymore. They were almost $800, but I think you can buy a K3 for somewhere around $290 and a K4 for close to $600. And I guess the problem that I have with this pack in general is that, you know, he's about to tell you that it's only 5 pounds, and that's ultra light. It's nowhere near ultra light. In fact, my Bergen is only 7 pounds. That pack you're looking at right there is a 50-liter pack, and the Bergen is a 100-liter pack at 7 pounds. So let that sink in.
This bag has been my go-to bag for the past few years, and it is the perfect do-it-all pack, tipping the scales at a featherweight 5 pounds. Thanks to the titanium frame and lumbar support, it travels nice and easy even when carrying heavy loads over long distances. The shoulder harness has a unique design that enables micro adjustments for that perfect fit. And then this bag is just covered in compression straps, which provide tons of options for securing gear to the outside of the bag, while you have 7 main compartments that make organization fast and simple. Fully expanded, this bag easily supports my entire survival kit, including the sleep system, the cook set, the food, the flashlight, the weapons, the tools, the multi-tools, the clothes, the shelter, you name it. And then there's just tons of other features on this pack, including this awesome floating lid that make it my forever pack, no question.
Okay, so my guess is that he just read the description right out of Amazon, or right out of the right out of the portfolio that came with the pack. But let's continue.
Now moving on to tools. Captain Obvious here. I gotta state that tools are not light, but absolutely essential for survival, unless you're on that next level where you go and you just make your own tools. And that's cool. I'm not there, so I gotta carry some tools. But I keep weight in mind, and so I choose a set of core tools, and then I add specialized items such as the linesman pliers or a pry bar. Now, obviously, some items you see here may not be used due to conditions that require stealth. The axe being a perfect example. It's super effective, chops down anything in its path, but it's kind of loud. So if noise is a consideration, I'm gonna not use the axe, and I'll use the Silky Pocket Boy or the Baco Laplander or whatever folding saw I decided to take with me at the time. And then the other items you see here, we got the multi-tool, we got the Gerber LMF2, and a grappling hook, because I like to pretend like I'm Batman in a survival situation and swing wildly through the trees. Yeah, something like that.
And okay, so this video is more and more it's more and more of a gear sales video. Now, all YouTubers are guilty of doing this, are guilty of trying to promote products that you may or may not be interested in. You click the link, they make a couple dollars every time you spend $1,000. But generally, this video is turning into more and more of that. And I don't know that I actually like it, because it doesn't seem to be focused on the purpose of a bug out bag or a long range bag, or it just seems to be a big gear squeeze. That knife, that's $125, $135 knife.
Anyways, moving on to the food supply. Now, when it comes to food, I like to keep it simple and keep it basic. Lots of quality fats, carbs, and protein to help me retain as much muscle and weight as possible, although I do understand that I'm going to lose weight in a survival situation, because guess what? My maintenance calories are about 2,500 a day, and that's based on the fact that I work out 5 to 6 times a week, and yeah, I can't carry 2,500 calories a day, 14-day supply of any duration in this bag, unless all I want to do is carry food. So yeah, I'm going to lose weight, but the goal here is to just basically average between 1,000 to 1,500 calories a day, and that's depending on the level of exertion. Maybe on one day I'm just in camp, so I don't need to eat as much food. Maybe another day I need to jet off on a 20-mile hike, and I will need some more food. So you get the general idea there. And then, of course, depending on the time of year, foraging can be a great way to supplement the food supply, but you got to be mindful of poisonous plants. Now, since we're talking about food,
Okay, we're going to go ahead and stop there for a second. All right. So, like I said, I've watched the video several times. And during the video, he talks about having 26,500 calories in this pack. That would be 1,892 calories per day for 14 days. There's not enough food. That's a tremendous amount of food for him to be carrying around. I saw no dehydrated food. I saw no freeze-dried food. I actually like what he's doing. The problem is what he's presenting to you is that you can survive for 14, let's just say 14 days because he started out with 30. Let's say 14 days, but you can't survive 14 days on the food that he is showing you, okay? And this kind of food that he is showing you, which is actually my preferred kit, and we'll talk about it. He's got some hiking experience. I can see it in his gear. Hikers have a very specific way of doing things that is weight, calorie, protein, and energy related. We'll talk about it towards the end, but be aware. He does not have 14 days worth of food in this pack. He's not supplementing with berries, and I think the poisonous plants are the least of his worry. So let's go ahead and pick it up.
Food, we might as well talk about the cook set. Of course, no survival kit can be complete, in my opinion, without a stainless steel canteen. Now, depending on the bag and the mission and other factors, I'll either go with the Pathfinder canteen and canteen cup from Self-Reliance Outfitters, or in this case, I just ditched that and went with my stainless steel World War II issue canteen with a canteen cup and then the Uberleben flat pack stove. And this stove, actually, check this out. This is pretty cool. This setup is dual fuel. So I can cook with wood, or I can just cook with this propane canister here, because there may be some times where I don't have the capability to start a fire, or starting a fire is just not a good idea. So I have the best of both worlds available there. And then, once again, depending on how much room I have, I might use my bush pot. Sometimes I just leave that behind, and I just rely on the...
Okay, we're going to stop with this hodgepodge right here. So there was once again, I'm sensing the hiker in this guy. He's done his research on hiking. He probably is an experienced hiker. But here's the thing: if this is a bug out bag, you're not planning to leave anything behind. He is speaking as if this is a camping trip, and I'm deciding which piece of cooking gear I want to take with me. If you're going to have cooking capabilities in your bug out bag, then you need to determine what that is, and that is what you're going to carry. If you can't start a fire, well, then you don't start a fire unless your life depends on it, like you're freezing cold or something to that effect. And in which case you would just eat your food cold, because most of the food, and I saw the food he had, it was all, with the exception of his oatmeal, it was all food that you could eat right out of the package and throw away, or carry out, whichever you prefer, burn it in the fire, whatever it is. I'm getting sidetracked. But he's got a multi-use stove. He's got a propane, or I think it's butane. No, it's butane. A butane stove. No, it's propane. It was little propane canisters. And then he's got this canister or that canister. I can tell you that the very first one that he talked about is the very best one to have, especially if you can find it in titanium. It is the very best. And if you're going to carry multiple cooking and drinking items that are either stainless steel or titanium, see if you can make them nest. He did have some things that did nest in there. Stainless steel is great, but stainless steel compared to titanium, it's like night and day.
Canteen and canteen cup, and that's really all I need. But that being said, let's go ahead and move on. What is next? Oh, one thing to mention here real quick is I have a survival fishing kit in this container. It's pretty simple, it's pretty basic, but I've actually caught a few fish with it before, so yeah, why not have that with me as well? And now, fashion.
Okay, so if you didn't notice, that kit was brand new. It had never been opened before. None of it has ever been out of the package. It's never seen salt or fresh water. I'm not going to call bullshit on that one. I'm not going to raise the red flag, but I will tell you that it looks like the video was filmed at the same time he was making. We'll just say that kit had not been used, so it's in question. Also, it's not really in one of his modules, so we're kind of, things are a little bit hodgepodge. Also, you may be seeing it from time to time on the screen where he's talking about gear list below. It's not a gear list. It's not a PDF list. It's actually a website where you can go and click on links and then take you to Amazon so that he can make a little bit of money. Just FYI, I've done the same thing in the past, but wow.
Because you got to look cool in a survival situation. If you're not looking cool, then why are you even there?
I know he's joking.
Anyways,
I know he's joking.
Experience has taught me not to try to look too cool in a survival situation and dress like Rambo. So I ditched the camo uniform, and nowadays I go with a more civilian attire that blends in pretty well in urban or wilderness environments. And then in the bag, I do have a set of camo just in case, right? But no matter the season, I always try to pack, of course, extra socks, extra underwear, and I prefer to wear a rash guard, bottom and top, that helps eliminate chafing. Moving on to mindset, because in a survival situation, you want to maintain a positive mindset. Pretty important. So I got my favorite survival book in here, the SAS Survival Guide that I got from my good friend across the pond. And this is like the 1993.
Okay, so 2 questions. 1, why doesn't he have that in his brain? Why hasn't he practiced those things? Why should he be carrying around this little book? Although that particular version of the book is exceptionally well. It has semi-waterproof papers. It is older. They do not even make them anymore. So it is kind of neat that he has it. But if you do decide to buy the SAS Survival Handbook, it is $100 on Amazon, and it is not in that little small book. It's a full-size paperback book. Like a manual, so FYI.
Deck of cards right here, which also doubles as a plant identification guide, so I don't wind up dead from poison berries.
Okay, so those I actually think are a great idea. If you can find those, pick them up, learn them. It's not something we do every day, so you're going to, if you need to do plant identification so you don't get yourself unlifed, then it's a great way to do it. Having a deck of cards is dynamite, but I'd rather have the knowledge.
That's cool. Oh, yeah, and I got this Camping Knots reference cards there, too, which is pretty nice.
Everybody knows how to tie a granny knot.
Moving on to navigation and mobility, which is pretty important in a survival situation, because you may actually have to navigate through area and terrain that you've never been in before. So if you can navigate using a map and compass, boy, that is a game changer, because you just can't always rely on GPS. You can't rely on your devices because they're going to run out of battery. GPS may not be available due to cloudy weather, or maybe the grid being down, or satellites being shut out of the sky by Russians. So whatever the case is, I can still find my bearing and navigate between 2 points. That gives me the ability to stay mobile and stay on task.
Okay, so from that particular scene there, all good stuff, but basically he was trying to sell you a map case. Good or bad or indifferent, maybe you love the map case. Have you noticed that there's a theme here? These whole pouches. I would challenge every one of you who are using pouches and cases to take everything out of them, put them in a pile, and put them on a scale and see how much weight you've added to your bug out bag.
Here is an important category: water. The human body can only survive a few days without water. Me personally, after about 4 or 5 hours of not drinking water, I'm pretty damn thirsty. So for me, this is a non-negotiable survival need, and I guess not for me, but for all humans, you gotta have water, right? So that's why I take this pretty damn seriously, and I prefer multiple options to get the job done. My primary filter is a Sawyer squeeze. However, I carry water purification tablets for backup, and I also have a Silcock key here for water access in urban environments. And then finally, to top this off, I have a custom Millbank bag here that can serve as a pre-filter to get any sort of dirt and debris out of the water before I actually filter it, thereby keeping my filter nice and clean and unclogged. And speaking of
all solid gear, guys, and I would look at Water Drop. They make filters, and the bags are just as durable, if not more durable. The drag bags or water bags are 1.5 gallons. I mean, I've had several sets almost like forever, and their water filters are just as good as the Sawyers, and they actually have a better flow rate, and they do more as far as gallons go. So look into that.
Staying alive and all that kind of good stuff, you got to have a medical kit, right? And you have to have a medical kit that can handle both big and small emergencies. because you could have a gunshot wound, or you could just have a simple cut that gets infected and starts causing you some big issues, right? So, taking this into account, I split my IFAK into two concerns, major and minor medical. On one side, I got the trauma kit. I got that going for all the bad stuff. Gunshot wounds, puncture wounds, cuts, heavy bleeders, all that good stuff. I got chest seals, I got quick clot agent, ace bandages, multiple tourniquets, and gauze. Those are the foundations of that kit. And then in the second compartment here, I gotta focus more on the small stuff, with everything from moleskins for taking care of my feet, band-aids, Steri-strips, Neosporin, and pretty much, what else do I have in there? Oh yeah, I even have the thermometer in here and a couple other little goodies. But that's a general idea, and I got this entire kit from Live the Creed Medical, which is a pretty freaking awesome company.
Okay, so overall, I think that that's actually a pretty good kit. I don't believe that actually comes with all of that stuff in there, because it even says CPR face shield, but that was not inside of there. I guess the thing that I would see, and I'll talk a little bit more about this at the end of the video, but my ideology behind doing these kind of reviews. But there was a tourniquet on the outside of that bag, still in the plastic, which means that it was not set up for use. No bueno. It reeks of somebody who buys gear and never uses it. But I'll try not to pass judgment.
Here's a category that a lot of people either don't talk about or don't even cover, and that is repair.
Oh look, another little pouch.
You can have the toughest gear on planet Earth, but it's going to wear out sooner or later, because daily use in harsh environments takes a big toll. And trust me, I know, and I've learned this the hard way, so that's why I carry a repair kit. Now, these items that you see here are intended to address the most common equipment failures, from broken zippers to cracked quick-release buckles. Quacked? Are we talking about ducks here? No. Cracked quick-release buckles or torn fabric. And here's another important category, and that is shelter. Now, luckily for me, my area of operations is the southern United States. It's a mild
Remember this picture.
climate here. Even during the winter, it only gets down to maybe 20 degrees, so I can go pretty lightweight. I go with the tarp, poncho liner, hammock, and a sleeping pad. And then for that winter season, like I said, it gets down in the 20s, pretty cold. I combine the poncho liner with a reflective emergency bivvy, and then I throw on my base layers, a jacket, a beanie, some gloves, and I'm pretty much good to go. Next up is fire. This one is super damn important. However, the environment may not always permit fires due to security concerns, right? Because fire is light, fire is smell, and you may not want to attract that type of attention. However, I still want to have that option available for cooking, boiling water, or warmth. And once again, you will see this as a theme through this entire survival kit. I like to keep it simple and keep it basic. I don't have any gimmicks. I just have the items that always work for me: the Swedish fire steel, the Bic lighter, and then my tinder, which is jute twine and cotton balls. Next category is technology, and this is something I want to keep on point, because unless an EMP takes out modern civilization and rewinds the clock 200 years, I want to keep my important devices charged and capable. This includes my iPhone and the Baofeng radio. Now, in the past, I've tried solar chargers with basically no luck. They all suck, they don't charge, and then one like I had, I was super excited about. I spent $80 on it, and I had a perfect day. Blue sky, sun out all day, and it charged my phone from 0 to 10% over the course of 16 hours. Yeah, so I stopped doing that, and I just go with the basic battery pack that gets the job done, no questions asked. Then I toss in a few cables, a USB drive of important documents, and I'm basically done. And then all that gets rolled up and tossed in the Faraday bag for an extra layer of protection. Next up is signal.
Okay, anybody notice a problem with that? He didn't put his electronics in a waterproof bag. That Faraday bag is not waterproof. I was looking at it. It was the black bag in the background. Anyway.
And comms, and this is a critical aspect of my survival kit, because I want to have the ability to signal for help, to light up the darkness with a flashlight, or possibly communicate with other survivors. At the last minute, I threw in this smoke grenade, which can be kind of nice because you can use that to mark a position or cover an escape.
I wonder how much that thing
quick,
weighs.
Guys, you see I have multiple options for lighting. I have the flashlight, I have the headlamp, which is RGB, which gives me the ability to have red, green, or blue light, which is really nice when you want to stay low profile and conserve your night vision. I also have the candle, which can provide a little bit of light, a little bit of warmth. Our last category is hygiene, because staying clean is absolutely essential to prevent infections and also boost morale. Included in this kit are nail clippers, tweezers, deodorant, and a Sea to Summit microfiber towel. And then, just in case there's another pandemic that pops up, I got a face mask in there to take care of it.
Another pouch.
Are you not entertained? Have you not seen enough gear? Maybe I should remove some gear. Maybe I could add more.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and stop right there, guys. Let's... Okay, so, looking over my notes, I had several problems with this entire thing. Once again, it's not a hit piece, guys. It's just observations from an old platoon sergeant who actually did this for a living when people's lives depended on it. We, as old guys, we see things that other people don't. There was a lot of problems with that bug out bag setup. First and foremost, he never actually talked about the 5th C and the 5 C's of survival, which is cordage. Now, he clearly had it on there. I just used that as a hook to get you guys in to watch this video. The same way that it's the same way that he used it to get people to watch his video about the Canadian prepper. And we all know how we feel about that. So the things that I liked about this video were breaking things down in modules. But it doesn't appear to be, it's kind of hodgepodge, because like all of a sudden we're talking about fire, and then next thing you know, here, look at my fishing kit, and now look at this. First aid kit, spot on, loved all of it. Just actually make the tourniquet accessible. Overall, the video was, unfortunately, I've got some negative notes too, because there's always the good, the bad, and the ugly. We did the bad, now let's do the ugly. Selling the idea of the word gear, saying something enough times, and it mysteriously becomes a term that's synonymous in your brain with preparedness. Everything about this video was about survival. Okay, well, so be it, but it gets a little bit repetitive. It's not a hit on the video. It's just a sales tool, to make a car sound faster, to make water sound wetter, things like that. This was not, in the very beginning of the video, he said that this was an inch bag or a long-range survival bag. This was nowhere near an inch bag, and there was no... We're probably at the cusp of long-range survival bag. I guess one of the big things that threw me off about it is that, he announced that there was a 30-day bag, 30 days, 30 days worth of food there. You could survive for 30 days. And then it was 14 days. And then you actually see how much food's in the bag. And that's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. We talked about the cordage. We saw it in the video, but maybe he could address it a little bit more, since he went out of his way to start the video talking about the 5 C's of survival. And in fact, in many of his other videos, they actually do this. I wish I knew. I hope you watch this video, dude. I couldn't find your name anywhere. I'd really love to contact you and have a great conversation with you. Maybe even have you on the show. Yeah, I mean, overall, video, 7 out of 10 tops. It was done 6 months ago in an environment that is actually pretty easy to prepare for. Yeah, I think that's going to be about it. As usual, if you like what I'm doing, do me a favor, make sure you hit that like, subscribe button. If you are interested in supporting the channel, make sure that you find that Patreon link down below. If you ask anybody about it, they'll tell you our Patreon is the shizzle. All right, guys, until the next time, stay safe, have a great day, and I'll see you when I see you. And I hope to hear from the Survival Outpost sometime in the near future. Bye-bye. Where's my drink at? Yeah, that's how we're rolling. Later. You're still here. Well, since you are, I want to tell you about Prep Stock 2024. It's a year out from now. I will leave a link down below. You guys can figure it out. Right now, the website's really basic, but yeah, it's going to be good stuff, guys. It's going to be good stuff. Check it out.